this for both of y'all, but I got a chance to listen to the project. I hit you up this morning. I wanted to listen to it while I was in the gym. And
Mm.
I got you kind of like Ruqone was saying, that boom bap vibe, but a lot of it, especially like that Watch Your Step, that had that Wu-Tang like vibe to it.
Yeah, I
And
love that one.
yeah, yeah. Tell us a little bit now about the joints before the album. Did y'all collab on the concepts, or did Rook One send a pack and you just got to work? Like, how did you start to think about the concepts for each song?
Man, he just sends me like the beats and stuff, and yeah, I just go to work, man. Like, it's really like organic how I do it. Whatever the beats giving me, like, whatever the vibe, the beats, what's it called, sending off, I feed off of it, and then I create to that vibe. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really, yeah. It's like we never really have a concept, and if anybody tries to give me a concept, it doesn't always work because like the beat tells me concept says one thing, the beat says another, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I just go with however the vibe is, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to like, like plan ahead of on it. I just kind of just go with the flow, really.
yeah,
And as far as the album, man, he just sent me a whole bunch of beats, you know what I'm saying, over I think it took us about a year to make. And I rapped over a whole bunch of them, and some of them like were like better than others, and we just started really selecting. And really, what helped me put the album together really was the skits, man. I don't know if you heard the
yeah.
skits,
I heard some of the
but that
skits.
we had, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like those were like missing pieces to the puzzle. And thanks to those skits, we had to restructure the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And we had to cut like a few songs, and you know what I'm saying? Farouk went harder on the beats and that went harder on the bars. And you know what I'm saying? There you go. North Star, man. You know?
Yeah, yeah, man. It was fire, straight through. I like the whole thing, and some of my favorite tracks, Rep the Society, Cold
Uh
World, shout out to Miss Outlaw. I
yeah,
really
shout out
like
to
what
Miss
she did
Outlaw.
on that. And I like the whole album. When does it come out now?
April 26th.
Okay, April 26th on all streaming platforms and
Yes, sir.
Bandcamp And then Rook One, man, that Watch Your Step, I mean, you had to possibly be inspired or listening to some Wu-Tang before you created that, because I felt like that was like 1992 36 Chambers, like what was your inspiration behind that beat?
Well, that beat and the whole album in general, man, is like the definition of a collaborative effort because those drops in there, my man added those and brought
Yeah,
me
I
some.
added the Inspector Deck
Yeah.
joint on there. You know what I'm saying? To
But
me,
but
like that, the beat spoke that, the 36 chambers. So I had to add that on there.
but that beat, man, I love the whispers, man. I was listening to I sometimes when I go buy records, like I think I went to the swap meet. We got a thing around here called swap meet. And I just went, it's called Swaparama actually. And I went up there, this guy has like a big old tub of records. And like he had like four Whispers records in there. I got all of them. And I was listening. I'm like, man, these songs are dope. But then I started listening for like sample ideas. And that one jumped out. I was like, Jesus, I made like three different beats off of that same song. But that so happened to be the one, that made its way to my man's hands. And man, he laced it, man. But I mean, with that beat, man, you know, he laced it. But man, I think a lot of people could lace that beat. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really, really, it kind of made itself. As long as I didn't try to get too fancy with it, I didn't want to do like a bunch of overproduction and add a whole lot of effects and everything. I just wanted to make sure the drums was tight and make sure that, I have my little mix ups in there to keep it from being too repetitive. And I think as long as I did that, I knew it was gonna be dope. Turned out dope. I knew he was gonna kill it because, normally when he is really feeling my beats, he'll hit me back immediately and say, man, I'm about to do something crazy with this. And there's been circumstances where like he's cooked up a verse like right then, like right after I sent him the beat. So, you know, I knew something good was coming out of that. And there's a
Yeah.
couple of songs on there that kind of was the same process as far as the beat went there, and then like maybe an hour later, at least a verse was created. Am I wrong?
No, you ain't wrong, bro. I be sitting at the crib sometimes listening to the beats, and I'm like, man, let me turn my computer on.
Man, working with us both, me and Ezekiel, like, and I know you kind of explain that process, but like, um, how is it, or explain your process in terms of like going through samples and then creating your beats. Like, how do you decide, okay, I'm gonna give this beat to Dot, I'm gonna give this beat to Ezekiel? Like, what's your process?
Well, I kind of have figured out, just through the course of working with you both, like you guys, each have your own individual sounds. And I know like one particular sound would work for one of you, where the other one probably wouldn't go. I really wouldn't send a certain type of beat to the other. So, like I'm giving the prophet, what I mean, I'm giving him more um now I won't say traditional boom bap, but more in the sense of I guess beats per minute. You know what I mean? I'm more likely to send him one of those, whereas, you kind of more of a slow flow. So I'm more likely to send you like something in like the 130 to 140 area double time, or like, 75-ish, you know what I mean? So but also as far as like with the samples though, um I think it's more of drum selection, depending on who's going to get the beat. Like certain drum sounds and drum patterns will dictate probably once I hear it, because the samples are going to be pretty much the same. I sample rock, soul, jazz, pretty much, and I've been dabbling with some Christian stuff lately, gospel, but that's pretty much like the big three right there. So everybody's getting those, whoever I work with, getting those type of sounds, you know what I'm saying? But the drums are really going to dictate, or lack thereof, for drums, because we got a joint on this album that doesn't have any drums. It's a rework beat from a single that we put out that doesn't have any drums at all. So